bought a quarter of a cow.
Oh.
Hi, live. Nice to see you out there. Charles wasn't playing music. I'm just a talking.
I'm about to. You have to get live first.
Charles, I can't hear you.
At all?
Can you hear me?
You, but I can hear you fine. I can't hear him.
Oh.
He's very low.
There's something with my computer to StreamYard. It's a problem. I'll work on that.
Let me go turn you up.
No, oh, well. Let me work on my side too.
By the way, I found out that Shure mics have a mute button on them.
They sure
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Over here, where you can't see me pointing.
All right.
But where your finger can accidentally hit it.
All right, here goes the music.
Okay, thank you.
Are you tired of being awesome alone? So was TV's Travis. And then he went to Dragon Con and he met Tyra and Charles. So let's all be awesome together. Well, hello, Tyra. How are you this evening?
Hi, Charles. I'm breathless.
I haven't seen you in a few days. You're new at this. I know. It's okay.
I'm very new. And I just want to say that I need a Wednesday that doesn't have 60 things that I'm doing.
No kidding, right?
We had to drive very far out of town, to Rockmart to get some beef, and then I had to rearrange our freezers.
Where's the beef, Tyra?
It's in my freezer, all 300-something pounds.
Freezer Tetris is always fun.
It was 300. I don't know. There's like a lot of beef in my freezer. We bought a quarter of a steer, cow, whatever you call it.
And somehow you forgot you bought it.
No, I didn't realize when I needed to pick it up.
Oh, my bad.
So that was today. So here we are.
And we're
Good
joined
times.
by Kaz in the chat room. Hello, Kaz.
Oh, cause who's big?
And then TV Travis showed up as a Twitch
bear.
That's what he was supposed to do.
Show up as a bear?
Well, not a bear. This may not help his pro app either.
He looks very warm.
I am very warm. I'm very cozy.
Absolutely will help his pro app.
I mean, it can't hurt my pro app.
I mean, have you seen the people at Dragon Con? We cosplay like nobody's business. So,
Truth.
all right.
No, I was playing bear in breakfast right before this. And so I felt like if I'm playing the game as a bear, I might as well look like a bear while I'm doing it.
It doesn't sound like something that's not a game.
It sounds hot, is what it sounds like. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I'm shooting my fan on right now, ladies and
Is it as
gentlemen.
hot as being stuck in an elevator for 45 minutes?
Oh, Jesus. 45 minutes, 11 people, one of which was pregnant, and did not, she was crying in the back corner. It was not pretty. I felt so bad for her. She was completely having a panic attack. And, of course, one of the gentlemen in the front of the elevator uses dark humor to get through stressful moments, obviously, because he was talking about things like, yeah, how far can this fall? And how do the emergency brakes work? And let's play that YouTube video of what to do when your elevator is stuck. I'm like, you need to stop or I'm going to have to punch your face.
Yeah. No, those are all the wrong things to do.
Wrong things.
In that situation.
And in the middle of the elevator were two very nice gentlemen who were not with the con. Surrounded by people in cosplay in the con. And all I could think was thank the heavenly bodies that Shane and I took off our Jedi robes and changed into street clothes before we came back on the elevator. Because if I had been in that elevator for 45 minutes burning up in my Jedi robes, I probably would have punched him.
With the Force.
With the Force. Yeah. So we dropped 3 floors. The emergency brake engaged. So it was like being in the Tower of Terror, except for in real life. And they had to get the fire department to come out to let us get out so I could jump down onto the floor. It was fun. It was all kinds of fun. And as they're trying to get the door open, we hear the fireman go, yeah, I think the switch is up there. I remember from last time. And I'm like,
Last time.
Could you repeat that for me? So, yeah, I do not suggest it, is what I've now learned. I've never been stuck in an elevator, and now I can check that off of my to-do list and not do it again.
No, don't recommend.
But let me tell you how awesome Tyra is. She was coming directly to a panel. It was the last panel we had of the night.
It was my dinner time.
Yeah, we were going to order her dinner or whatever she needed, but she didn't know. Anyway, she had to skip dinner, come right to the panel, and you would have never known. You never would have known that she would just spent 45 minutes in the elevator.
Yeah. Thanks. I freaked out later. I actually was freaking out during the last 10 minutes because I had hit my... Because we couldn't move. That was the other bad thing. There was no movement. Like, I shifted my feet a little bit, leaned back on Shane a little bit, but there was literally nowhere. I couldn't even turn around. It was great.
And Valencia says, I got stuck on the Peachtree Center escalator during a Dragon Con. That does tend to happen, although stuck is relative because you walk after it stops, but it can be kind of scary.
But if you're on the one that goes up from the MARTA, so the MARTA escalator
is like 2 stories long.
Oh, that thing is
It can be scary. Yeah, but that one does break down a lot because Dragon Con, I mean, it's just anything big, like any big game. Taylor Swift came to town. You know, too many people, right? And it just stops it. And
it's huge. So. Okay, anyway. Hi, nice to see you. I'm so sorry, Valencia.
It's just warm-up stories. It's
true.
So Travis is here tonight because we are going to walk through how to apply to be an attending pro. And I believe, Tyra, you said you might punch up some of his bear resumes.
He's gonna punch up some stuff. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to dragoncon.org, and I'm gonna go to the guest app so we can kind of look and see what we have to do.
Sure, we can share your screen, and Travis already says he can share his screen.
Awesome.
So we can actually put it on the screen for everybody to follow along.
I think I'm doing this right.
Bear.
Share screen. Let's share this one. Okay, good. Can you all see my screen?
Yes,
we
can.
At that.
Awesome. I did something right. Okay, good times. So this is the app, and you're going to choose, if you're a previous guest, by the way, it is super, super easy. It will put your stuff in there from last time. I do suggest that you update your bios and check everything, but it preloads a lot of the information and does make it super easy. But don't forget, update your stuff so that you can talk about things you've done over the last year. They do want your legal name. You do have to provide an address and a phone number. They're not going to put anything out there that you don't want. There are 2 sections where you've got to write things. And the first one is this short 55-word bio. This is my nemesis.
Yeah.
55 words. Like,
that is not enough words to say much. And I don't love that at all. I hate those.
Yeah, no, don't give. So I'll get it to like 58 words. And then I'm back and like still cutting out stuff. So it is horrible. That's what I'm going to say. It is horrible. The long bio, you can go longer. It's going to be one that's going to be in the program books, in their progress reports, and the website. With both of these, Charles, you can tell us which one of these is searchable in your database, or do they have both?
Both. We can do the long and the short bio, and I tend to mark both of those. The short bio is very limited, and that's the one that shows up on the website and in the app. The long bio is for you to fill out all the keywords you want to be known for, because I'm going to search stuff like YouTube, YouTuber, Twitch, Twitch streamer, podcast, that kind of thing, depending on what the panels are, right? Digital media, digital creator. Those are the kind of things I search. So that long bio can quite literally be like a huge bio that has, I think, no limit or a really big limit.
It doesn't have a limit, but
all kind of stories in there. But you can actually keyword at the bottom, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for keywords so we know then, this is the person to look at. So let me look at your long bio and see what else you do so I can make sure you fit.
Yeah. So keywords are actually super important. And the other thing that's super important, and I'm going to scroll down so that we can talk about it. So we're going to come back to these 2 things. we probably don't have an agent, but if you do, that's where. It's going to ask you when you can be there. The more you can be there during show days, the better you are.
Yep.
So try to be there Thursday through Monday.
But it is understandable if you
Right.
can only do 1 or 2 days
Absolutely.
or whatever.
And then the additional information is where you put for if you want to be a turn for, is this it? Nope. Hang on. Yes, this is where you would put if you want to be an attending pro. So you want to say, hey, please consider me for an attending pro. You're going to get, if you get accepted, you get your badge, and you might be able, there's a few other things that you can get that you could make request for. The only thing I've ever requested is my husband's badge. That's the only thing I've ever gotten, and I've only gotten that the last 2 years.
It is
Now-
very much a value for value system.
Yep.
So the more you can show off, even if you've never been a pro at Dragon Con, the more you can show off that you have done and can do. The idea is not just butts and seats, but value added to the track or tracks, that you can be on. And the more value you bring, the more you can ask. And it does vary. I mean, it goes from just your badge and being listed on the site as an attending pro. And the badge is different. It says attending pro on it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very cool. I love mine that I've had in the past. But, and it goes all the way up to whatever value you might reasonably request. And it just is taken into consideration.
Yeah. And that you can always be accepted and they can say no.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it is like, no, this year, let's see what you do. But like Tyra's was an easy peasy one because she did so many different panels and so many different tracks. They're like, yeah, here's attending pro. Then it's probably honestly one of the easiest things they can give is another badge.
Yeah.
And they tend to be, especially since it's a direct family member, they tend to be very inclusive that way.
And they're really sweet because we buy his badge when it's the cheapest and they refund us. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know how many people they do that for. I might just be lucky. I don't know. And I never take it for granted. We buy his badge every year just in case, because who knows, they may ditch me. The one thing that you need to think of when you're thinking attending pro is you have to talk about your professional body of work, just like they say here when you're checking boxes. So these are not, you're a huge fan, you do a lot of fan panels. You have to have something in your background that is professional and brings value. So, and I'm not saying that people who are on fan panels don't bring value to the con. They certainly do. But for attending pro status, you have to be a professional. That's what the
And
word
guest. I mean, the guest and attending pro uses the same. So this
Absolutely.
really matters to help differentiate. Because if you go, I see the one right in the middle, author children's literature, and they go, oh, well, you applied for attending pro, but we see you do all this stuff and this, and they see the bigger picture. They may put you at guest or whatever. But there's definitely been people who have been like, I was a regular. What did she say? She was a regular background or an extra in the background for a vampire show, and she was a regular, but that wasn't enough, unfortunately, because there's just so many people applying. She got attending pro, I think, but not anything beyond that because there's so many applying.
They are. So you can look at this. So like when I go through and I fill out mine, I don't do anything in art and comics. Okay. I have done some stuff in gaming, and I didn't check streamer because I've never streamed games, but I used to do publicity and marketing for several games that are out there, RPGs. I have a bunch that I check in the author category because I write sci-fi, I write computer internet, I write nonfiction. So I've got some street cred there. I'm not an astronaut. But let's say I'm not a science
But
educator.
Gump is.
That's a whole nother subject. But let's say my husband was applying. He could check out Maker DIY because he builds armor and cosplay. Under universes, what they're looking for is people who have experience or worked on these projects. So the only one out of here that I personally check is Disney because I've taught classes on it.
Now, I don't know
Makes
who
sense.
this would apply to, but if you're considered a professional streamer on this topic, as in you've been recognized or have that's your whole thing is I see Winona Earp at the bottom. If your whole thing is you're recognized for being the show to talk about why Winona Earp, that would come in. podcast awards, you're featured on Spotify or somewhere else to show like, yeah, we
Somebody's
got a lot
giving
of
you a
downloads
stamp
and-
of approval.
Yeah, then that would count as well.
And then
There's
here,
no Highlander on that universe, though.
I know, which
That
means that
bothers
you,
me.
We're in the wrong timeline, Travis. That's right. What's going
that
on?
I
was
know.
about 15 years ago.
We're in a timeline that's could be only 2.
And then they have some other television film. And then there's other, my favorite category, because look what they added this year.
They did.
So you
Look
can
at
check
that.
off digital media. You can
And
check off podcasting.
There you go.
So you've got stuff that you're pro under. And when you go back, sorry for the fast scrolling. When you go back to do these 2 bios, that's what you're going to focus on. Focus on what you bring as a pro to the table. So that might be, so some things that I work into my bio that don't, that aren't necessarily part of my pro status is I have Geek Meets Social podcast exploring digital life and her love of Disney, Star Wars, and geek culture. Because I love Star Wars and I want to be on Star Wars and Disney panels. So I sneak it in there as keywords because it's my bio and I can do that. So, Charles, what other things do you have to say? I think I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Everybody got what we
Yeah.
need to do?
Yeah, because TV Travis can do his, and we'll walk him through. Let me put it back to the regular screen for us. So, be careful of your fandoms, because I think Dennis Robinson had put in stuff about Lord of the Rings and whatnot, and he had a certain idea of what he could talk on or could be a part of, but somebody found and searched Lord of the Rings, and then he got put on a different panel about it, and he wasn't quite the expert that he wanted to be, is what he said, more or less. And I don't remember exactly. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, oh, I thought it was going to be A, and it's actually B, and I'm not really great at B. But, of course, it's Dennis, so he made it work.
I've had that happen too. I was on a gaming panel that was talking about diversity. And though I am a woman, and that is diverse in some gaming fields, especially MMORPGs, I was not prepared. But when
And
I got on a
that
film track
happens.
one about social media, even though I don't do film, I still was prepared. That I could talk about. So I talk a lot about being social media and digital marketing and stuff like that. So Travis, how are you
Yes.
a professional?
How am I a professional? I am a professional by talking a lot. That's basically what I do. It's
Travis.
really, it's really down to the podcasting side of it. Is mostly what I do, and a little bit now voice acting. Just recently.
Oh, that's good. That's an awesome thing to be able to use here.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. That's brand new. Like that's within just the last few weeks that started, in terms of like having something out there published that I'm voice acting in. So
What was your first podcast? Or what's the biggest podcast you have?
the biggest one is Wait You Haven't Seen. It's going on close to 5 years now. I'm actually going to have episode 300 later in December.
You should have been like, we'll have episode number 5 out soon. But consistently, I've done one a year.
I'm there.
Hey, buddy, you got, can we talk afterwards about any special plans you might have for 300?
I've got 300 booked, and it's going to be a pretty good one.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Man, it's so bad that we can have him back to Dragon Con this year. And,
Don't do that.
He'll be missed. He'll be missed.
That was not nice, Charles.
No,
I'm sorry.
it wasn't.
We give him control of the thingies, and this is what happens.
No, I actually for 300, it's a fun one because I have only to date seen 2 Wes Anderson movies.
If you
Rushmore
say
and
Phil
Life
Keating's
Aquatic.
if Phil Keating's saying comes out of your mouth.
And
I'm
I have
quitting.
2 people that are ushering me through the Wes Anderson verse. And they are going to be on for episode 300 to make me watch another Wes Anderson film. That's all I'll say. You'll have to wait until the end of December to find out.
Okay, so it's in December, right? So,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and And I have it, so that'll be episode 300 in 301 weeks of podcasting that show.
Damn.
I have not missed. I've missed one, and that was a technical issue. So even when I went out of the country, I still had regular release schedule. That's a big thing for me.
That's amazing. So in 2024, Wait You Haven't Seen hits its 300th episode. So that is something that I would highlight, and I would use the 300 because that says consistency. He's on it. He's always doing it. This is not something that he's just playing off of. So as a voice actor, what's coming out with you in it?
So it's called, the podcast that it's a part of is the Fan Fliction podcast. It's a Star Wars fan script, and I am playing Jedi Master in that. The first episode just hit the feed earlier this week.
That's exciting. Like, I want to hook me up. Anyway, again, huge Star Wars crazy girl. So voice actor. So what's your other, you do another podcast. Those Were the Days, right?
Those Were the Days, yep. We've actually crossed 100 episodes in that. So that is the third show that I've been a part of that has gone over 100 episodes now. Because my Highlander show did 100 and I think the final one was earlier this year, and it was 130 for that.
Okay. So what else do you have on your vast array of things that you do? So you live stream, don't you?
I do live stream, yep. I live stream gaming
obviously
on
your
Twitch.
Podcast. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so I live stream on Twitch and YouTube.
Okay.
And gaming as well as hobby craft, Warhammer minifigures, or just not even just Warhammer, just minifigures in general, painting, and construction, or like prop making, crafting is one that will be happening here shortly because I've got a proton pack I have to put together and build, but also like model cars, stuff like that, which is another one I have to work on.
So Tyra's trying to remember what she did with it. Now I'm looking at my own and going, that really sucks. I should have done that. Anyway, I did make sure this time to put Twitch and YouTube in there. Like before, I've not utilized those. I've not talked about like the platforms I stream on, but because of Be Awesome Together, I felt comfortable doing that now. So, and I would definitely mention that you're on Twitch and that you're on YouTube. So you've got some great stuff to work here. What have you got to show us? I'm taking notes, and we'll see what it comes out as.
To show.
What have you got? Do you have a bio that you've been working on? Or do you hate them as much as I do?
I hate them, and I'm terrible at. Like, I have the bio that's on my website, but it's 2 lines, and it's just dumb.
So, and that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. Do you have a website?
I do. I have my own website as well as a link tree.
Awesome. So let's see both of those.
All right.
It's Travis.tv. But Travis, why you pull that out? I'm serious. What will help get you a big, great starter is, I'm going to put this on the screen for us, is ChatGPT. You can tell it to ask you 10 to 20 questions as if it were a reporter from New York Times or whatever, Sports Illustrated, whatever flavor you want. And it'll ask you the questions like it's interviewing you in order to write the bio. And then you just type out your answers, and then it'll feed back a really cool article on you that, then I can find somebody like Tyra to help clean up, so it doesn't sound like an AI wrote an article on me.
It's true.
It's a fun.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I need to do because I'm just terrible. I'm terrible at self-promotion in general, but I'm really terrible about writing bios about myself because I'm like, I don't know, I just do stuff.
I hate writing them too. And I'll be honest.
I just hate it.
I was creating a fake me on Instagram has a thing where you can create an AI character as a profile. And so I made a fake Tyra, and it actually gave me 4 words that I use out of all the things that it did. But an eclectic creative force, which I love.
That's pretty good.
I had to take it out of my short 55-word bio because I was over by 3 words. So mad about that. But
I think my name is Tyra could have been cut before you take out eclectic creative force.
I
Right?
know. It sucks. Anyway, we'll just put that over there. I probably
And
should have
is
left
that a
it.
Doonesbury style caricature of you, sir?
That is, yes.
Is
Yes,
it
so,
actually by I doubt it was actually by I want to say Gary Breathed, but that's not who did Doonesbury.
No, it's actually done by Audie Norman, who did
okay.
he did the artwork for. So when we came up with Those Were the Days, his idea was, let's take old comic strips or comic characters and make versions of ourselves. So he asked us, which ones would we want. So if you look at the Those Were the Days logo here, Steven is in the style of Bill Watterson, Calvin and Hobbes.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Amy Frost is down here with Peanut
Nice.
style.
Right, yeah.
Audie drew himself as Jim Davis style,
Yep.
Garfield.
Okay.
And then
Garfield,
I
yeah,
asked
I see,
for,
yeah.
I basically said, well, I either want Bill Watterson or Doonesbury. And I knew Steven was going to ask for Bill Watterson. So I'm like, do me as Doonesbury. So that's me. I love it. It's so good.
It is.
I need to see if Audie wants to work on Wise and Nerdy's new logo.
He totally will.
That
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
If you talk to him about it, because he did that for us. The Let's Watch Highlander art here is Audie. That's him and I, because he was my co-host for that. That's him and I back to back
Nice.
fighting.
Nice. No, those are I knew that was Steven when I saw it, and I can't always
Yeah.
say that when I see graphics. So, yeah,
Right.
Charles, hook a girl up. TV Travis, you too. Hook me up. I need to do that again.
Absolutely, I can get you in contact with him.
So, some things you should know when they evaluate you for guest, for pro status or guest, they go to your website and they may check out your socials to see if you're bringing, what kind of following are you bringing.
Sure.
So, one of the things you can do is have a one sheet that's on your website that talks about how many followers you have, what's your streams, what's your downloads, how many people are subscribing to you over on Twitch. Those are types of things that can help you get noticed. If you don't have those, it's okay, but it's more like let's put some icing on this cake and start making it look pretty. So the good news is you have all your properties linked here. Fabulous. But you don't, your TV Travis, that is not a bio.
No, I know it's not. It's something I wrote years ago, and I just left it.
If it makes you feel any better, I just updated mine, so don't. Valencia, I agree. I love cartoon versions.
And I will say, if they're unsure, at least for the digital media track, if they are unsure if something will work, or if it's just on the line of we think they'll fit here, but we're not really familiar, they'll send it to the director.
Yep.
And what I need is actual freaking links to what you want me to see, because I will take 5 minutes to vet something. I mean, it's just it's that fast I can tell that this is going to work or not work. And they don't send me your whole bio. They send me a little bit, probably the short bio, I think, is all they send me in the email. So so in your short bio, make sure there's extra whatever information. I just need something, so I don't have to go and search your website or search for your YouTube channel or Spotify or whatever, and make sure, take that extra opportunity, because this is your link to put in. You get to control it. Pick the thing you want somebody to see the best, like you feel like shows off your show the best. It's tough when I have to go to a site and I have to go find the podcast, hit play, and then that one takes longer because I have to get past any kind of audio stuff. If there is audio, if it's great quality, great. But if it's not, well, I know that's not what you're going to bring to the table, so I have to listen past that. And then, like we do, we told a little story to get started. You didn't really know what we're about. I would actually cut some segments of my show, either video or audio, put them on your website or on YouTube just as those clips, and then link that. Say, hey, don't worry about listening to my show from the beginning. This is one of the best moments in the show.
So I do have some of those in like YouTube Shorts and and TikToks, because I do that every episode of the show. I pull clips out and I post a couple of them every day during the week as sort of like, hey, here's moments out of the show, and then you can go watch the longer version in its entirety at YouTube or here, because these not only are display, but they go to the individual shows themselves. and
Right.
the whole list of them.
But make that easy. So what you can do is have a link to a highlights page that literally has like your 3 or 4 best highlights.
Yeah. Okay.
Make it super, super easy.
Even
like in
if you
my
don't want to do it on your website, you can just do a little second channel on your YouTube of just clips, or a playlist of just clips, and say, "Hey, here's a
Yeah.
link to the playlist."
but if
That's a good point. I
Okay,
do
so
have
I'm
all
think-
those on there. So
I'm thinking ahead to, let's say, like I have a press page.
Yeah.
So on my press page, I have headshots, I have long form, short form bios, I have one sheets for almost everything I do. I have where I've done appearances, I have podcast guest experience. I list everything I possibly can. And then when I've actually been quoted in some like Travel and Leisure magazine and some other places. So I have a page that has that links to all of those things. Anything you have like that, you want to make sure that you're making it easy for people to find.
okay.
Like I would say the thing I need to do on mine is to go back and rework my press pack because it's a little old. But if they see stuff like that, they know, oh, okay, so she's been quoted in this about social media, so she must be an expert in it. When they're trying to get a feel for who you are, if you have that best highlight, they can really see you in action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to drive home a point, but do you have a link tree as well? Can we see your link tree?
Yes. You can do that. Let me.
That didn't work. I'm trying to get to my. So in a minute, I'll show you what I did instead of a link tree. Awesome.
So, real quick, same kind of thing, like 2-line thing, because Linktree doesn't have long,
Yeah.
but it's got the website, the YouTube channel, the TikTok page, Patreon, on down, merchandise, all of that, and links to basically all of them.
So that's awesome. The other thing what you could do is put another link to the highlights that you put together on YouTube. Like make it a separate link if you can.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So you can call it, highlight reels.
Theoretically, not that you should go this far, but you could make a link tree just for Dragon Con or con submittals. Like if you go to other cons,
Yeah.
you can just say, here's that link tree, and then it has, like mine starts off of, for Wise and Nerdy, is WN Clips because it's quick, easy YouTube videos. Then there's Twitch right underneath it. Then there's our Discord, and then it just goes on. And actually, I got to take the Twitch off. I need to do that.
So I'm gonna share my screen if that's okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna kick you off is what I'm gonna do. So this is what I did. I put this together last night, so it's not any shape, form, or fashion looking great. I gotta find it. So this could take a few minutes. Where the frack is it? There it is. Sorry. Hi everybody. Tyra's not prepared. Okay, so this is actually a hidden page on my website. So it's not linked in the top, but it is literally just buttons and links out to everything. So it's like a link tree, but it's actually on my page. So I could very easily use HTML stuff to put like the video link right here. So they didn't even have to click off to go it. It would play right here on that page, and to make it super easy. So, and this is a way, if you have a link tree, I think they're great. I have a link tree. This way, if somebody is going to find your links, you're now sending them to your website, which helps with SEO and all those other things. Also, I haven't been able to find a Blue Sky or Threads that I can use on my website, so I'm having to use buttons for those. But it's just another way of getting that link tree where you can actually add in more stuff. Since you're already paying for your website.
Yeah.
So you can embed the videos. That's the word I couldn't think of.
Yeah, that is something that I want to explore a little bit more on the website, is getting something like that with an embed. I'd love it if there was a way to have the live stream embedded on my site. so that I could have or what I need to do is
think
just
you
set up
can.
a like .com, /live that redirects to, so I can just put one link out that's like, go to tvstravis.com/live, and that will go to whatever live stream is
Right.
going on at the time. I need to do that.
Okay, so I'm playing with something really fast. So talk amongst yourselves.
So I think you could do that without having to do a lot of coding on your site. I believe Twitch has an embed code that you can put in. Most sites, I'm not sure if do you hand code or do you host with like a place that lets you click buttons and change the format?
It's a content management system. So it's not hand coded, but no, it's an easy one to work with. It's just one that a friend of mine helped me set up.
Sure, but it's not like Squarespace.
No.
Yeah, okay. Because a lot of those places just have a plug-in like insert your Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But I am sure you could just do, because we used to do it a long time ago when it was harder. And it was still fairly simple just doing an iframe then, but now it's just an embed code. I'm sure most web hosts have a basic embed box that you can put on there. And then that's brilliant. tvstravis.com/live. And at one point, Breaking the Panel actually had every show that we had on our network. They had their live streams in little TV boxes, and it would literally show you if if we were streaming at the same time on our own different channels, you could see them side by side on the webpage.
Oh, nice.
So I didn't do that myself. I'm not. Ibbot actually helped out with a lot of that.
Oh,
So I'm not sure how to do that. I just know it is doable, and I know he wouldn't have done it if it was a whole lot of work because we weren't that kind of network.
so I have your Chat GPT bio ready for you.
Oh, excellent.
It's
All right.
it's so bad, but they
Can we
did get a couple.
dramatic reading?
Yes, here it is. TV's Travis is a skilled podcaster known for his engaging storytelling and insightful interviews. As the host of multiple successful shows, he has built a dedicated following with his compelling content covering a wide range of topics from pop culture to personal development. Travis's podcast consistently receives high praise for their depth and creativity. So that's how you know ChatGPT wrote your bio, because it doesn't say anything.
Right.
And I think
It's a
some
lot of
those
words
lines
to
are in
say
my
nothing.
bio from ChatGPT.
Sounds very similar. So, but what we would do is we would take this and go, okay, I like storytelling and insightful interviews.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, how much do you interview?
I mean, the whole show is kind of an interview. In a way, because it's just a conversation about the movie and sort of movie watching in general. So it ends up becoming a bit of an interview.
Weaves. So I would talk about, if I was going to describe you, I'd probably say something about weaving storytelling, pop culture, and his guest insights into there. Like, I would find a way to weave those three things together. You would definitely want to talk about your 300 episodes, your 100 episodes, the fact that you're a voice actor. So you're going to squeeze all that into 55 words. So
That's going to be fun.
yeah, so you two talk for a minute. Let me see
Such
what I can
fun.
do. I'm going to see what I can do on the fly here. That means you two have to carry the podcast here.
Yeah. I do like the idea of the embedded video on the website. I do need to do some tweaking and massaging to the website, so it's kind of a little nicer. This is a much improved site over what I had, my old WordPress one, though. That one was rough. One of the things, too, I do like is that all the links are here. Like, if you, the top's got, YouTube and things like that, and all the social media stuff is down there, and email and everything. It's a nice, clean layout. But there's some improvements I could make to it. The bio being one of them. I'm just terrible at that.
That's always the thing. I was actually looking through Linktree's options for appearance, because yours was just that solid black background. You can't play with much for free.
Nope.
But
No.
there's some kind of cool things you can do for free there. Like, I was just tweaking the Wise and Nerdy ones. You can get rounded buttons with shadows that makes it pop a little bit better, cartoony-ish. I can do a solid color background, and yeah, that was about it. I changed the font a little bit to suit the show a little bit better, but you don't get a lot of choices for free, but for free, you get a lot for free.
You get a lot for free with that one.
So you there? I mean, not there. I know you're there.
I'm.
Are you?
I haven't written 55 words yet. This is hard. Did I see? And I don't do this for a living, but let's see.
No,
'Cause what I
copywriting is what this would be, right?
This is copywriting.
Yeah.
So, like, one of the important things about, and I'm building right now a whole module for my students about using AI, is taking what it spits out and trying to find the gems, and then figuring out what you do. So part of why it sounded so generic is because I didn't give it a great prompt. I said, write a 55 words about TV Travis's, what did I say? Write TV Travis a 55-word bio highlighting his podcasting accomplishments. So the good thing is I think they actually did find you. So I'm going to go back and say, hey, let's work these things in and see if it does any better. It probably won't.
So something else about the link tree, Travis.
Yeah.
Does any of the shows themselves that you do have their own link tree?
I have a button on the link tree that goes to the show.
Right. That's different.
Yeah.
So and it is different because, well, like Wise and Nerdy, we have a link tree for that, right? And we have 3 hosts. So Wise and the reason I ask is it never dawned on me until last week. Kurt said something like, "Oh yeah, I'll fix that." But you go there, it's a show link tree, right? So I have one personally. I have one for One EMS. I have one for Digital Media Track, and of course, Wise and Nerdy. And Kurt's like, well, our personal link tree should be on the show link tree. I'm like, that makes sense. So at the bottom of our link tree is our other link trees. So everything's just kind of intertwined and interlinked. And then on my personal one, I did some of the same. Like I didn't put theirs on there, but I put my One EMS, my Wise and Nerdy, Digital Media Track, Be Awesome Together. Which at some point, we're going to have to start our own channels, Be Awesome Together on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, you and I have been talking. We've got to talk about what we want to do with We do. And by the way, we have conversations we need to have anyway. So I just want to say that ChatGPT did much better when I gave it, like I said a bunch of things like, hey, his 300th episode of Wait, Haven't You Seen It? He's a voice actor in this thing. Talked about Those Were the Days, Highlander, and it gave me a much better to work with piece of fluff. It said, TV's Travis is a versatile content creator and podcaster known for his diverse range of projects. In 2024, he celebrated his 300th episode milestone of Wait You Haven't Seen, where he shares film insights with listeners. As a voice actor, Travis lends his talents to, and I screwed up what the podcast was, so we're going to just say that podcast, as a Jedi Master, and he co-hosts the milestone 100th episode of Those Were the Days, a cast-focused show. He's also a key figure on Highlander 130 podcast, so it totally screwed that up, diving into the iconic series. Beyond podcasting, Travis is a passionate live streamer, engaging audiences on Twitch and YouTube with gaming sessions and broadcast. That's just bad. His creativity extends to his crafting mini figures and props, bringing a hands-on touch to his streams. But there's some gems there. And that's what you have to look at with any of the AI is go, oh, and I tell you what I really liked, because this is where I was struggling, was trying to describe, wait, you haven't seen it? You haven't seen? It says he shares film insights with listeners. And I was like, oh, yeah, that is it. It's like film, TV or whatever, because I know there's a bunch of properties that you could use there. But that insights, that word right there, Tyra didn't grab that word. And so I went, that's great. I'm going to use that. But I'm going to put it and say, and his weekly guest. What's the name of the where you're a voice actor?
Fanfliction is the
Fliction.
podcast.
I did get it right. Fanfliction. And I'm just going to say co-host. And your pronouns are he. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hee hee. All right.
It works.
I just asked ChatGPT, what can you tell me about TV's Travis? I'm just killing time while you do your thing.
Yeah, no, that's good.
TV's Travis's official website. This is response 1 and 2 for me to pick from. They're doing some A/B testing. And
Okay.
actually, I can already tell you I like number 2 because it's got more stuff. But it says TV's Travis is a podcaster and a content creator with a passion for movies, TV shows, tabletop games, and pop culture nostalgia. He hosts several podcasts. Wait, you haven't seen? A show where Travis and guests watch and discuss movies that one of them is seeing for the first time. It's a deep dive into classic and cult films, exploring why these movies are iconic or overlooked. 2, Let's Watch Highlander. Focuses on reviewing episodes for the Highlander TV series. This podcast delves into the adventures, lore, and characters of the franchise. 3, Those Were the Days. A collaborative podcast revisiting classic TV shows from various decades. Each episode centers on a specific show or theme, offering nostalgic insights and fun discussions. And 4, Gore. This show is dedicated to the horror genre, covering films, themes, and impacts of horror media on pop culture. Travis also maintains a blog and engages with fans through various social platforms, discussing topics like baseball, movies, and D&D sessions. His approachable and entertaining style makes his content enjoyable for fans of retro and geek culture alike.
Wow, I like that guy.
For more about his
He
work,
sounds
you can
fun.
visit his official site, tvstravis.com.
That all came from ChatGPT? That's
Yeah.
impressive, actually.
It is
that it knew
impressive.
that much about me.
That tells me that you've got a lot on your website done right. And the A version was
Yeah.
way shorter, where it really doesn't tell you as much about the shows. It still has them all right, like all the names right and what they're doing, but it's way shorter. It talks about your YouTube channel a little bit, and the sources were YouTube and it looks like your website for that one. And it doesn't necessarily show me the sources. Oh, there we go. So the sources for the one we liked was tvtravis.com. Let's Watch Highlander on tvstravis.com, and Those Are the Days on tvstravis.com. So I just pulled everything off your site.
All right. That's cool. That sounded really good. I'm gonna.
ChatGPT, tell me about Phil Keating. Oh, he's a leech that gets on all the shows Charles wants to be on. Oh, thank
my
you,
gosh.
ChatGPT. You are the best. It nailed Phil. It got him.
You were just getting mean tonight.
I mean, you realize that the last time
Takes
Phil,
everything I like.
but you realize the last time Phil was on my show,
Was the
you
last
were
time I
on the
was
show
your
too.
show?
Yeah.
But he's been on like 2 other times.
That's just because he got a hold of me.
He has something over you. Thanks for winking. I got you.
Y'all are too fun. Okay. I'm trying. I was 22 words over.
No, actually, we've got Charles, you and I have got a couple things we've talked about doing that we need to do the early part of this year on the
Yes.
show. So, for sure.
And just interrupting time, Tyra, but I just went to Conjuration, did a lot of cool panels, a lot of cool people, and Bob Magoo.
Oh, I love
He,
him.
He threw out a one-liner at, we recorded an episode. Hey, look, it's the fit tonight, Finding the Stories. Yeah, there you
Nice.
go. Although Tyra pointed out to Mormon Joe that my microphone doesn't look like a microphone because there's no texture, and she then informed Joe what it looked like right before a panel started. It was fantastic.
It was awesome. He did not know.
He did not.
He probably went and looked it up on the internet. Sorry, Joe.
I thought I was like, go look it up on a work computer, dude. Do it on a work computer. Oh, go to the church and borrow their computer. Use that one. But Bob threw out this one-liner about how he had a theory that Lake Placid, one of my favorite films, the Betty White's husband's ghost basically possesses the alligator, or his spirit's an alligator, or something like that. And just the concept of that, like, oh, we could go down this rabbit hole for a good 30 minutes. And then, like, he goes, let's do that podcast. Like, let's not, because I got way too much going on. However, Finding the Stories is set up to then have a spinoff in between seasons called Random Conversations, where it's literally just one-off moments of crazy talk. And you don't have to have a theme. You don't have to, it'd be, me and Bob talking monsters.
That's awesome.
You and I just talking about whatever randomly. Not interviewed, just what about this crazy idea?
Which, by the way, Lake Placid, real fun movie.
Oh, yeah.
Love
The
that.
sequels were okay, but the
Yeah.
original was.
That first one, I saw that in the theater.
Yeah, me too.
I'm at 66 words.
Oh,
I am so frustrated, but I'm going to read you what I got.
all right.
TV's Travis celebrated the 300th episode of Wait, You Haven't Seen, a podcast where he shares film insights with listeners and his guest. As a voice actor, Travis lends his talents to fanfiction as a Jedi Master. His other podcasts include Those Were the Days, Gore, and Highlander. I didn't get your names right, but we would fix that. Travis live streams gaming and crafting sessions on Twitch and YouTube, and that it's not right yet. What?
Why are you trying to squeeze everything into 55? Give
Because-
it to 55. No, that's a short bio, yeah?
I know, but that's what I bet most of the other track directors. Are they going to look at the long bio? They'll look at the long bio, right?
Typically. And if they don't, then
It gets
I
to
just
you.
say show up in that costume, Travis, and just ask questions that says,
Right.
this is why I should be on your panel. But yeah, no, get the polished bullet points into the 55, because that's where audience who might not know you looks you up and go, oh, he has these podcasts I like to go listen to. But and then take the rest of it and blow it up. And I mean we get reminded at every meeting. Click the long bio, click the short bio. Here's how you search the database. And it gets hammered in.
And some of them
I
pay
know
attention.
Some people don't, but
The one thing I would do in your long bio, and I don't mind helping you write it. Sorry for focusing on the 55 one. Good, but I think it's the harder one. Is I would talk about the properties that you talk about. Like I would go into Those Were the Days where we talk about such shows as blah 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 from the 1960s or wherever you start onward. And then when you talk about gore, I would say horror because we have some horror stuff at Dragon Con,
Yep.
so that you can be pulled in there.
yeah, you want the keyword.
Yeah, so really utilize those keywords to talk about the different types of properties that you could be a panelist on, because that's going to make you on a lot of those fan tracks that are more TV and movie focused. That's going to make you sexy for them, whereas you're already sexy for us. Not bear costume notwithstanding.
Fair enough.
So, but definitely really spend some time highlighting those, because it shows that professionally you're reviewing these things, that it's not just, you're not just a fan, you're actually a professional reviewer.
Sure. Well, that makes sense.
So, and also make sure you move in Twitch and YouTube in there and do better than
And-
Tyra did.
Drop other names like you did your show live at Viva TMS.
Vegas. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You have been. I think this is true. If not, you understand where I'm going with it. You're a regular guest on the morning stream, or
Yep.
stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. You didn't.
drop
he
those
didn't.
connections.
I should have
Travis-
mentioned that. Yeah, monthly
Travis-
on the morning stream.
You left the
told-
good.
Did I
Having
not say
created
I'm
great
terrible at
content
self-promotion?
with Brian Ibbett, you would
Yeah.
link in the names.
Yeah, no, put all that shit in, put all that stuff in there.
Yeah,
'Cause that's-
that would
that's
be
making you
mentioned.
sexy.
I would definitely mention that in long bio for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now I want to go back and rewrite my bio, but I've already submitted my application. Oh, well. But I'll do things I put that, I have a lot of stuff on AI and branding, so I've put that in my long bio. I probably should have spelled out artificial intelligence. Damn it. I feel like an idiot now.
Tyra needs a Tyra.
Tyra does. It's not bad. I mean, I didn't write for 4 years on me. It's 3 paragraphs. It's not too long. Because it's going to be published, and so that's why I didn't, spend half a day. I tried to... But use keywords. and like say why you're like mine says teaches courses on. So here's my professional social media, digital marketing, personal branding, and pop culture. So that gives me my. I try to be succinct. Don't be succinct the first time.
Yeah, I need to be verbose.
Yes, you need to be verbose. And I think it's really hard. I think it's hard to humble brag. And I have a hard time with it too.
I'm terrible at it.
I should have put in here that I forgot because, oh, yeah. Do I really do that? Like, it was a big deal for me to put Twitch in there.
Well, let me put this out there.
Uh-oh.
There is still while it's still a family-friendly conference, it is very understanding that there's a nightlife to Dragon Con. So if you can paint what you do that's more nightlife, spin it into a way that you do family-friendly things, like our friend Phaedra. Well, we know what she likes to do, the spicier side of digital media, and that's a very well-received panel. And at the same time, if you want to spend that to getting pro, you need to talk about, I spoke on parenting in a digital age at Dragon Con, and I spoke on this kind of Twitch stream at DreamHack, and this.
Yes.
And you just paint your skills in a way that one does have a little bit of connection, right? You can see this and link right to the video. Like, here's the video on the Dragon Con digital media track. Here's the video, if there's one from DreamHack or from Twitch or from wherever else. And it especially if it shows you speaking on a topic, that is, because at the end of the day, this whole con is a content creation con, right? It's fans talking about fan stuff, it's music, it's all this stuff. So it's not just about, oh, do you have 1 million credits? It's, oh, we see that you're going to add something to the discussion.
Yeah. The other thing you can do if you're primarily, let's say, OnlyFans, is don't highlight that. And secondly, highlight the other things that are connected to it. So like with Phaedra, she just came back from a huge Twitch conference.
Yes.
And she needs to talk about, that's what she needs to talk about. She needs to talk about how she's connected to Twitch. She's part of the community. How she was invited. That's what she needs to put, because that shows that she's a professional streamer, which is what she's going to sell herself as. You're selling yourself as a professional podcaster and voice actor. So that's what you're going to focus on. And she and I are going to have we're going to chat. And the thing I'm going to tell her to focus on is focus on the fact that Twitch has reached out to you, that you've done things with Twitch, that you're proud of DreamHack, and focus on that part of your brand and the other things there. And they'll see it and they'll know it. But the front facing thing that they can go yes to, that's family friendly, is, Twitch streaming. So I think we just have to be mindful. And if you're going to choose highlight reels that are family friendly.
Yeah.
So
choose
we should be mindful and demure.
Yeah. Well, it's all in how you present it. So like we just hired a new department chair, and before we started the process of bringing them to campus, I went and had my hair done like right before they came. So it was like super bright pink, because I was like, yeah, you're going to know what you're getting. So I made sure my image was yes, you're in a bear suit.
Yep.
We now know what we're getting. And Charles, what were we thinking?
I don't know, but it's too late now. You're stuck with me.
I know. Oh, damn it. I love you though, so it's okay.
Oh, arm is so itchy. Sorry. I got new tattoo work done last week, and so it's very itchy now. It's the sleeve that I was working on before, so it's the line work for it.
Oh,
right now.
So what is all that going to be? Because I can kind of tell what I can and can't.
This is thistle.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And heather. And it's growing out of like a bracer, an armor piece. So my whole arm is an armor piece with all of this growing out of it, and including, if I can get it on the camera, it's tougher to see them, but little forest spirits.
Oh,
little guys.
That's going to be awesome.
So it's going to be really, really good when it's done. But it's at the itchy stage right now.
So I'm telling our audience to wake up and ask questions.
Yes, because I don't Otherwise, I have to talk about me, and I need other things to talk about.
But do you feel like you know what you should do now?
I do have a better idea, and the use of ChatGPT is a really good idea. Because I need something to start from. Once I get that part, it's a little bit easier because I sort of break the inertia of like, I don't want to talk about me. But if I've got something that's already there that I can then tweak and play with, that's the thing. That's using something like ChatGPT as the proper tool, right?
Absolutely.
Get it to start you and then move on from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a pretty good idea of sort of what direction I should be going in. I'm sure you'll get some DMs from me with like, hey, how does this sound?
I love that.
But it is definitely getting me in a good direction.
Well, and I think sometimes we have to be reminded that we're awesome.
Oh, I definitely do.
You know, like you needed to be reminded. Probably if you'd been in front of us, we would have hit you with a 2x4 that you should put the morning stream and Brian Ibbett in there.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Kaz is thinking for us. Think faster, Kaz. Charles, when you get a bio from somebody, what do you look for? What is sexy to you? What grabs your attention?
So, I'm different. My brain works differently. So I don't read. I skim. I skim for keywords. I skim for what grabs my eye. And then I follow a little bit before and after it. So if I'm looking for YouTube, I found YouTube in your bio. Then I'm gonna look at the line before and after to see if it's saying you create shows, if you were a guest on a show versus a co-host. You basically give me an idea of what you create and where you're gonna go, so then I can go click your link. Because like there are some Timothy Zahn, right?
Oh, I love Timothy Zahn.
When I searched like podcast or something, that word, I mean, it comes up 100+ times in the database. And he was one of them, but not because he made podcasts, which I was hoping for when it landed on his name.
That would have been
because
great.
he'd been interviewed on such and such podcast.
Yeah.
And that was referenced in his bio. So I look for that. I look for where the keyword is and then a little bit before and after. Honestly, and I look for energy on how you wrote it, the quirkiness, the personality that comes through in a little bit. But there's not a lot in a bio that I'm going to give a crap about because I'm looking for specific things to fit the general vibe of what we do on the tracks. We can fit a lot of things. But I do notice, like, if you load your bio with, I wrote this book, this book, this book, this book, this book, and I'm on this podcast, I might consider you in the background. But obviously your thing is authorship.
Right.
We'll see.
And make
So
sure
balance, I guess I'm looking for balance in your bio.
if you are an author, make sure you give the genre that you write in. So like on mine, it talks about sci-fi romance, cozy fantasy, and nonfiction. And then I say something about social media. So make sure that you're referencing something so that they can clue in, oh yeah, she should be on the fantasy track, or this person fits the sci-fi track, so that they can actually figure out which of the multiple literary tracks we have you fit on.
Right.
So if you're young adult, put young adult in there. Please. Help a track director out.
Basically, the more easy details there are that stand out, the better. Is kind of what it comes down to is, yeah, if you're looking for YA authors, then you need to have that in there. And spell it out. Don't just put YA, put young adult. You know,
don't be
and in
Tyra who put
parentheses, YA.
AI instead of artificial intelligence.
And it's still worse. I would look for that. Maybe not everybody would, but that's what I'm saying. If you do young adult and then parentheses YA, if they look up YA, you'll be found. If they look up young adult, you'll be found.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know about the rest. I know you weren't asked about the rest of the directors, but I don't know what catches people's fancy other than, well, like I said, Dennis mentioned something about Lord of the Rings. I think he just keyworded it at the bottom or something, and boom, somebody searched for Lord of the Rings for some. You know, would he be there? I think it was a Monday afternoon panel. Will he be there for Monday afternoon? Boom, let's put him on the panel. And of course, that's something we have not addressed that nobody's asked. Do you, Tyra, having gotten your pro badge in the past. Do you have to be on every panel that they just give to you?
So I've been fought over in the past. I've had 2 tracks wanting me at the same time, and I got to choose which one I did. There was one time I did cancel on a panel because I was literally exhausted and about ready to fall over. And it was an at-night panel when I'd had a whole full day. And I knew the track director, and I wrote her and I said, "Is this going to cause a problem?" And she was like, "No, if you don't have the energy for it, I understand completely." And so I would have been there had she said, "Yeah, it's going to cause a problem." I would have walked my ass down the street and been there for her. But luckily, it was okay. In the pre-time, let's say it's something you're not comfortable with, I would definitely write Regina and say, "Hey, I got put on this panel, but I'm not sure I'm a good fit." But I would give a valid reason for it. If you're only on a couple of panels, like I'm usually on a ton of panels, so I can say, "Hey, this one I don't think is a great fit." That's great. If you're only listed on 4, then you're probably going to need to do those 4 or find yourself a replacement. Charles, how many panels is it that an attending pro has to do?
1 per day.
So 4.
Typically. So, yeah. Well, okay.
Or 5.
1 per day that they will be there, typically. So 4 is really the number that they look for, give or take. In the past, so Gabe, couldn't tell you Gabe's last name. We always just call him Gabe, but Gabe of Quid Pro Roll. He was, not this past year, the year before, but he had done a number of panels, and I made sure his name was on. That's the other thing that I do is I make sure your name's on the panel. I make sure you get listed. So like Dennis, I know Dennis is going to do a bunch of stuff, but I also get to look, especially later in the game, I get to look at your profile on my database to see what panels you're on and how many you have. And that actually has me picking out random names. Like when it comes down to certain topics, like, okay, this person only has 1, but they're already attending pro. Let me get them another one. Yeah, because they seem like they'll fit, which helps them and it helps us get fresh blood in there. But like Gabe had applied for pro this past year, and maybe had done the pro the year before. I don't remember exactly how it worked out, but this past year I got an email from Regina going, "Hey, how come you only had 2 panels?" And I looked it up and I went, Perez, Gabriel Perez is his name.
Oh, I know Gabriel. He's a good guy.
And I was like, well, that I know for a fact you're not listing at least 3 panels that I put him on. And so I told her, I don't know what I messed up in the database, but he was on this, this, and this, and on top of the other 2. So he absolutely performs by all means. But it wasn't, should I give it to him? It's like, why wasn't he used? And because I do have to kind of keep track of, this is something that I've asked for. We don't have it in the database, but it's like, okay, like Travis, you will more than likely, if you get pro, you'll get under my track. So you'll be a digital media track pro. It's not designated on your badge. I don't think it's anything like that.
It's not.
But I have to basically use you or reach out to my other director and say, hey, I think like horror. I think he could fit on the horror track. And I think he could talk here or this and that and the other. So on that side of things, if you don't get 4, but you tried, it's on us and not on you. And there's plenty of times, it's like Phil and Dennis, they're pretty much all, botched has become a little bit of a staple at DragonCon. I mean, DragonCon knows about them. They understand it's one of our tent poles for the track, and it does well. And we never over ask and get crazy, which is important on my side. So I wait to the last minute to fluff their panels, if you will. Like, okay, let's see what other tracks get you. And like this last time, I listed Dennis on, like I put Phil on the kickoff, and I put Dennis on the meet and greet, so that when somebody searches just to make sure you fulfilled your requirement, it just drops. It's all good.
So the other thing is don't not show and not tell them.
Okay, don't not show. I mean, we had one that I had, and I have to do a wrap-up report. I do 3 wrap-up reports every year. One within the first 5 days, the other within the first 2 weeks. But one of them is guests or pros. And this last year, I was working hand in hand with the gaming track and the video game track, whatever they are right now. So many game tracks. There's only one digital media track. I don't understand why they got to make it so difficult. But
Right.
get off of my porch.
They like to be difficult.
Anyway, I was working with Tori and them over there, and they had a guest. And I went out of my way to make sure I put that guest on one of my panels I thought would work for them to get them more of a footing underneath them. And he didn't show up. And he did reach out to me, but it was like a private message through Discord. Hey, I'm just not feeling great today. I'm not going to make it. And of course, I'm doing a million things. I'm not looking at Discord. And I was like, meh. But then twice in the past couple of years, I'll tell it this one. An acquaintance of mine, I wouldn't say we're friends, but we worked together when she was on the come up. And I was on the come up with podcasting. She's on the come up drawing comics. She works for Marvel now. Afua Richardson was at the con, and we had her on one of our panels, and there was a family emergency. So she just messaged me, I think it was even through Discord, but she's like, hey, family, give me a few details, like I got to go. So even though I didn't see it in the moment, that was excusable. We work with you. We understand if you get sick. But you do have to put the effort in it. Please don't show up on a panel coughing and sneezing and blowing your nose. So, there was some other stuff going on with that gaming guest, but that was
But we had a book talker that stood us up a couple of times.
I don't remember that.
Maybe you didn't know about that. That wasn't this year. That was last year, 2023. But there was somebody that you had been weaved to put on a panel to make sure she got her 4, and then she didn't bother to show.
Oh. Yeah, I missed some other things.
Which is why we keep track.
Or if I dealt with it right then, I just dealt with it and moved on.
I'm just of the mindset, if I say I'm going to do something, I show up.
Yeah.
Unless you get the family emergency thing or you're sick. I'm not going to show up to a panel if I'm feeling sick because I don't want to do that to everybody else. But that's a different thing,
Absolutely.
But obviously, if I've done 300 podcast episodes in 301 weeks, I show up.
You show up.
That's just what I do. I also never say no.
Yeah, no, that's
I did
not
5 straight.
necessarily.
Right, but I did 5 straight days of podcast last week.
Well, he didn't say no to me, so I appreciate that. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I should have muted, but what the hell? If I remembered where that button was on this mic, except for when I accidentally hit it, I could have.
That's funny.
So I think Kaz just left us. She's not giving me any questions. I have nothing. I've spent my time with 2 bears.
A lot of good.
I think we did too. So remember, keywords, highlight what you do professionally. Make sure that you humble brag. Don't hold back.
Yes.
I know, Kaz, my brain left too. It's the end of the semester.
And use the tools that are available. Use things like ChatGPT to get it going. Don't rely on it to do all of it.
Right.
But it's a great starting point.
Yeah. And that really is the key. Charles and I argue all the time about AI, kind of in a joking way. But it can be a great way to brainstorm and for you to kind of figure out. Unfortunately, it thinks Tyra Burton is a fine artist.
I mean, you are a mighty fine wordsmith.
Thanks. I love you. That's not what they're talking about. I can't draw myself out of a paper bag. So it did not work so great for me. But I'll take a collective creative force and say, hey, AI wrote that. But yeah, use your tools. And make sure, even just sit there and list some keywords or properties or things that you need to include. And that's what I do when I start out. I just list everything and go, ugh, how do I put that all into a thing? Sometimes I do better than others. Obviously, I did like crap, but hopefully they still like me. Actually, it's not bad. It's actually a rework of what I did last year, and that works. So,
No,
now I'm having anxiety. I've caused myself anxiety with this show, Charles. This is not good. Charles is off in La La Land.
You don't like being anxious alone. Join us for Be Awesome Together, where you can be anxious with us. So there is that. You want to know my 55 words? It does help. It does help if you have a book to put into ChatGPT. It helps a lot. So here's my 55 words.
Tell us.
Charles McFall, the rock god of podcasting, is a digital media pioneer who began podcasting in 2004. A storyteller and motivator, he connects audiences through shows like Wise and Nerdy and Finding the Stories. As DragonCon's digital media director, Charles empowers creators, helping others be awesome, in quotes, through impactful storytelling, live events, and engaging content.
That's
Nice.
pretty good.
That is very good.
Abstract. But I took it from a 2-page bio that I had originally had it right, and then had Tyra help punch up and fix.
Oh, I
And
remember
then I
that
copied
thing.
and pasted that. I mean, it's literally maybe not 2 pages, but it's a full page basically that overlap because of something else. But whatever.
Yeah, mine still sucks. Though I will say, okay, so like I just did mine too, but it says, I like her work bridges the gap between entertainment and learning, making education both accessible and enjoyable. That's actually a really good line.
Yeah.
Okay. But when it talks about excels, dynamic, passionate, those are all chat GPT words that that are chat GPT words. Don't use them. Did you see this?
Source.
Be anxious together.
Yeah, well, that can mean a lot of things.
Thanks, Kaz. I am anxious together. It's the spin-off show. So Charles finally taught me that I'm supposed to read what I put up on the screen for those who are just listening.
Yeah.
See, I can be taught.
See?
Yeah, that's something I need to be better at.
It's hard. I mean, like,
It is. You got a lot going on.
we're live streaming, which I must say is something that I thought I would never be doing on the regular. This was not on my bingo card, Charles.
And here we are.
Yeah.
I know. I hate
Here
cameras.
we are.
Here I am.
All
Still-
right, let's get out of here.
Are we ready to go? I have
was
no idea
born
what's
ready.
happening. Oh, I know what we should do next Wednesday.
What's that?
We should find some guests that want to come on and talk about what they're thankful for. Because it's the Wednesday
Yeah.
before Thanksgiving. So let's be thankful together while we're being awesome. Thanks, Kaz. She's yawning at me.
She did put yawn up there. That's great.
Ah, Two Dorks TV.
He
Look.
does this. No, he does this to me every time. He comes in the last 5 minutes of anything that I may be doing. Is like, hey, I'm awesome. I love me. I do love you, Stephen. And then we gotta go.
I love
Right?
you,
So hard.
Stephen. Don't listen to Charles.
We need to get
Steven, you're the
Stephen
best.
on, too. Man, I think Tyra had gotten to meet him before, but I met I lost his name. Bob's booth mate.
Oh, Ben Meeks.
Ben Meeks. I met Ben Meeks for the first time during Conjuration. I cannot wait to have him on this show. He seems so super awesome.
Oh, Ben is awesome. Ben is not only an author, where he has Were Otters. I know. You can't really top Were Otters, to be honest with you. But he also is a pen maker. Like, he literally hand makes pens that are glorious. So Kaz suggests, I can't talk, whatever. How about Friendsgiving next show? I think that's exactly what we should do. And what did he just say? He said for Friendsgiving,
Snore,
do we get to come on stream and eat? I'd be down with that. Yeah.
No. We need America's Dad to come on here and de-stress everybody the night before the holiday. I need Steven on here talking to us about, I know you got some big feelings, bud, but no matter what your mama says, you're going to be okay. I know you're 45, but you're going to be okay, bud. We need that. We need that the night before Thanksgiving. America's Dad. We're doing it. He says, I got you, fam. I think.
Well, now
actually,
you've committed.
I think Smashy took over his chat for a second because I think Steven says that.
Just so you know, Valencia, we love it when you stop by. She said, I may or may not remember to tune in next week. If not, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. And we hope you have a good one, too. And thank you
Yes.
so much for being a constant in our life. It's wonderful. And I was on the DragonCon report. I forgot to say that. I was on the DragonCon report last night, and Valencia dropped by.
Nice.
So it's my first time. I was so excited. I've always wanted to be on it, but I never had asked. And finally, they asked me.
Nice.
I know. It was my secret little, I really want to do that. Oh,
Want some G words? G words no cap.
okay. So obviously I need to talk to you because I teach these people and I need help. Because I've gotten old. I'm 56 now. I don't know any of the words or all of the things. And yeah, no, I need assistance. Charles is just a typing away. So while he's typing TV's Travis, where can people find out more about you on the web?
Easiest way is go to tvstravis.com because it has the links to all the shows that I do and all of my social media stuff as well. But I'm most active right now. I'm active everywhere, but Blue Sky is the one blowing up right now, so probably the easier place to find it. But there's links to everything there, and tvstravis.com or linktr.ee /tvstravis, I think is the way the link trees one go.
And he has that, I'm sure, on all his social media bios.
I do.
Okay. Good. I don't have to shame you.
What about Tyra's link tree?
Go to tyraburton.com. It's just easier.
TyraBurton.com, where geek meets social. And you can see all kind of other stuff there as things she froze. You can follow us here on Be Awesome Together. And I want to remind everybody, I should do this at the beginning of the show, not the end, but the panels that we recorded at DragonCon are going out in subscription form, as in free subscription, as in RSS feed. So if you go subscribe to Be Awesome Together on Spotify or wherever you find your podcast, on Spotify, you'll get the full video delivered to your device, wherever you subscribe to podcasts. And everywhere else, if it doesn't do video, it'll support audio. So you'll automatically get the panels in audio or video form, depending on how you want to get them. And, of course, this goes out. We record this every week on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all under DC Digital Media Track, all one word. And, of course, Linktree is linktr.ee /DC Digital Media Track. And then you can find me, as you can see my name there. Linktree is RGOP42. And let me tell you, at the back, I'm not going to stand up because I don't know how to line up with the camera, but the back of this is one big QR code to take you to that Linktree. And I had some people at Conjuration scan it this week, so that was fun. So nice. That'll link you to everything that I do. 1EMS, this show, Wise and Nerdy, which you've been on that one too, haven't you, Travis?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, right after DragonCon we had you on.
Mm-hmm.
Wise and Nerdy and Finding the Stories. Phil and I are actually discussing today, Phil being the EP for that show. Did you lose your power, Tyra?
I have no idea what happened.
That's funny. Literally,
the light was still on in the hallway. My computer went dark. My screen went dark. And I'm like, but here I am, slightly frightened that something's wrong with my laptop, which would not be good because I can't afford one right now.
Here is some happy music to calm you down and tell everybody goodbye. We do love that you come out every week and see us. Again, Linktree is linktr.ee /DC Digital Media Track.
I feel like Lucy and Peanuts. Love you all. I'm exhausted.
Happy bear noises.